Guys, I got a message for the guys and the ladies today. But before I tell you that, let me just share something personal. I am so tired as I'm sitting here now. I feel absolutely exhausted, and it's like just not even 12 o'clock yet, and I feel absolutely exhausted. And that's because I had a late night last night, and I had a very early morning this morning. Yeah, I'm tired. But now the reason I'm telling you that is, and this is why it's important for the ladies to listen up and important for the guys to know this. All right, if I feel the way I do, and I feel as tired as I am, and I don't feel tired every single day because I get my sleep and I'm fine the next day. But I'm thinking of ladies, the women who are going through perimenopause. Now, you would be horrified. You would be absolutely shocked to know that there's a lot of people that have never heard of the word perimenopause. Some people may know it as premenopause, okay? But let me just explain something to you. You guys, and I'm talking about the working men now, and also this is applicable to your wives, but when you're at work and maybe there's a lady there that she always seems a bit grumpy. When I used to work in Utenag, our HR, I shouldn't say that. Well, yeah, okay, I already said it. Our HR lady, she always seemed to be so grumpy, and everybody was so scared of her to say the wrong thing before she jumps down your throat. but, um, but okay, it's because the men didn't understand what was going on behind the scenes, and maybe nobody will ever know. But here's what really is happening behind the scenes of most women. Most women have never heard of perimenopause, especially the older women, okay, and the younger women. I mean, that's about all women. They've never heard of the word perimenopause. And guys, have you heard of the word perimenopause? Not menopause, perimenopause. And and the whole idea of me making this quick video, and hopefully it's going to be quick, but it's like I'm thinking, I am so tired today. All I want to do is go and sleep. Now, why is that related to perimenopause? Because that's one of the symptoms that women have when they have perimenopause. They have tremendous fatigue. They are tired. They are grumpy because they have mood swings. And, um, and you may think, okay, put this into context. Well, here it comes. Okay, guys. There's a difference between perimenopause and menopause. Now, not many men know that, not many women know that, and I'm going to say this. Very few doctors actually know it. Very few doctors. Now, I've gone into this. I've Googled it and I've chat GPT'd it and I've done all the rest, all of the, and this is what I discovered. It plays such a vital role in the lives of all families, marriages. Let's say marriages. Let's leave the kids out for now. But and marriages are being destroyed because of menopause and perimenopause. They're being destroyed. And they did a survey and they found out that the divorce rate is 50%. But out of that 50%, over 69% of those that got divorced during the same period. It may be coincidence, but maybe not. They got divorced during the same period when they were going through menopause. All right? Is that a coincidence? I personally don't think it is, now that I know a little bit more about it. Now, guys, just to give you a quick lesson, and I said I was going to try and make it quick, but if I'm not, stick with me, because you're going to learn something very important. Okay, the difference between perimenopause and menopause, and then you've still got postmenopause, but let's not talk about that now. Okay, but perimenopause happens in a woman's life from about the age of 35. All right, so if you're approaching the early 30s to mid 30s, then ladies, get ready for those changes. All right, get ready because this is what's going to happen. Okay. Okay, before I tell you what's going to happen, I was explaining what is the difference. Now, this is mainly for the men, all right? Because guys like we don't understand these things, okay? And women, your problem is you don't accept these things. So both of you, pay up, listen up and pay attention. When you go through perimenopause, the woman still has her menstrual cycle, her monthly cycle, okay? And perimenopause can last about like say 7 years, okay, 5 to 7 years, which seems like a life sentence, okay, then what happens is she still has her periods. When she stops having a period for about a year, and then she hasn't had a period for a year, that's when she goes into menopause, all right? And then that's another life sentence of about 7, 8, 9, 10 years, who knows? Okay, so what actually happens in perimenopause? Okay, let's say for instance, okay, you're happily married and everything's going fine, and your bedroom life is just 100% fine. Man, you've just never been so happy, and then suddenly one day that all disappears and it changes, and and this is what's taken place. Perimenopause has hit you like a sledgehammer. Okay. Now, there are many hormones in the human body, but we concerned men, all you're concerned is about testosterone. Okay. That's all the men are worried about, testosterone and adrenaline. Okay. Those are the two hormones that interest me the most. Okay. And most men. But for women, you have other hormones, all right? The one is estrogen, the one is progesterone, all right? And the other one is cortisol. Now, what is the importance of those and what is the function of that? Well, okay, I don't know all the functions, but well, I kind of read it up now before I made this video, but I forget very quickly. But estrogen is primarily your sex hormone for one. It's not the only purpose, but it's your sex hormone. It's what keeps your sexual drive sort of stable, as long as along with testosterone. All right. So women also have testosterone. They've got testosterone levels, but it's the estrogen primarily that will actually kind of help the women maintain that sexual drive. Okay. And it's also responsible for a lot of other things. All right. I think one of them is bone strength. The other one is it keeps it is, the vaginal walls. It helps them to. Well, I think as progesterone, and I'm not sure, but you can go and Google it. But here's the problem, and this is what I want to share with you. All right. When a woman goes through perimenopause, her estrogen levels drop dramatically. They drop absolutely dramatically. I'm not even sure what it's supposed to be. It's like supposed to be 700 and goes down to like about 36. That's huge. I mean, that's a big drop. And along with estrogen dropping, you've got progesterone dropping as well. All right. Now, when that drops, then the functionality of those hormones is zero. All right, virtually zero. Now, this is what's going to happen. The women, and listen carefully, because this may sort of tie up a few loose ends for you. All right. The first thing is women begin to experience what they call hot flushes. All right. So that's why you always see the ladies trying to like get a fan and cool themselves down. All right. When I was younger, I could never figure out, like my mom and dad, when I was very young, used to go to church, and all the ladies are going with their little songbook and the little chorus book of the church where they're supposed to sing out of, they're using that as a fan. And then men are going like, sort of, what's wrong with you, woman? And as a kid, I could never figure that out. But anyways, okay, so this is not a laughing matter, by the way, because it's serious. Okay, so let's trying to keep this serious, shall we? All right, women. So women go through hot flushes. So they suddenly, their temperature just increases. And that's because the estrogen levels are dropping right down. And so does the progesterone level. So they get hot flushes. But yes, guys, here's the thing that you must know. If it's happened to your wife, that when that drops, there's a thing called a stress hormone. It's called cortisol, all right? Now, stress hormone is there for that reason, to control your stress, all right? So the stress hormone, whenever you get into stress, the stress hormone gets released and it calms you down and everything's like fine. So when a woman's hormones levels are fine, I mean, life is great. Your sex life is fine, your marriage is fine, and everything's really cool. You got your estrogen levels just right, your progesterone and your cortisol and your testosterone, and everything is fine. And you go into perimenopause and whack, your life changes literally overnight. Why do you think they call it perimenopause? Because that is a time for the men to pause. Why? Because when estrogen level drops, so does a woman's sexual drive. And guys, it's not her fault. It's not her fault, all right? Because I'll tell you what, it's not just her sex drive that drops. I'm going to tell you what else happens, all right? She becomes fatigued, tired. If she's working, if she's a working mother, all right? I feel so sorry for working mothers. Man, you ladies, you've got my sympathy out there. And guys, men, husbands, listen up. Listen to what I'm telling you. It's not your wife's fault, all right? They go to work. They've still got to handle all of the things that they do. Here's the problem. One of the symptoms is they have a thing called brain fog. Okay? Now, I'm quite familiar with brain fog because just before I made the video, like I'm going on Google now with my phone trying to like remember all the things, and then I make the video, then I forget. Yeah, you won't believe I've actually written a book on it and put it on Amazon. So, but yeah, that's what I've done. Trying to help the men and trying to help ladies because their marriages are going for a loop. But guys, these things are going to happen. So a couple of things are going to happen with your wife. She's going to lose her sex drive. Okay? She's going to get brain fog. Like suddenly it's going to get so bad with brain fog that your wife is actually going to say, and she's going to get anxiety. Her anxiety is just going to go up. All right? Now, the reason that is happening inside her body, all right, the chaos that is happening inside her body is because the cortisol levels now don't know what to do because the estrogen dropped, the progesterone dropped. So you know what cortisol does? It actually goes up. It spikes. And now the moment it spikes, what happens? They get anxious. It increases anxiety. Now the moment a woman's anxiety increases, she becomes moody. All right? Moody. She becomes anxious, got anxiety. And then at night, she can't sleep. Why? Because she's cold and suddenly she's bitterly cold and like in a summer's day or in the winter, she's like chucking everything off and she's got the fan on her because now she's hot. And the men are going like, what is going on with the woman I'm married? She's not the same woman that I know. And you're right, it's not the same woman. But deep inside, it is the same woman. It's just her body going through these changes. It's called, there's a 4-letter word to it, all right? And I know I'm allowed to use this 4-letter word on YouTube, so here it goes. It's called, here's the 4-letter word, L-I-F-E, life. So get used to it. It's called life. Guys, all we got to worry about is our testosterone. And later on in another video, I'll speak about that because then I'll get personal about that. And adrenaline. Man loves adrenaline. Okay? I just absolutely love adrenaline. Or, well, I don't love adrenaline. I just forget the chance to do something, I'll do it. Okay? My neighbor just bought himself a 650 Scrambler. And whenever he says, hey, Ron, you want to test drive it? I'm on that bike and I'm out there and I'm enjoying the bike. Okay? But women, let me get back to you. Okay? If this is happening to you, okay, if this is happening, it's not your own fault. That's the first thing I want you to know. It's not your fault, all right? And I know the guys are going to like hate me for saying that because they say, yeah, but you know, my wife can be a real, okay, that word, you know, because she's always moaning at me and always grumpy and she's, you know, always forgetting things and she's always tired and she never wants to have sex. Live with it. And the way to live with it and to deal with it, guys, is this. You need to understand, first of all, what's going on in your wife's body. You need to know that. If you don't know that, go and Google it. You got ChatGPT, it's for free, I use it. Go to ChatGPT, type in perimenopause. What the heck is it? What's going on with my wife? All right? There's so many ways, there's so much knowledge available to us. So the first thing is, men, go and learn about it. Go and learn so that you can understand what's happening in your wife's body. All right? Ladies, if you don't know what's going on, you need to do the same. Okay, the first thing you need not to do, and the reason I say this is because I'm on 2 Facebook groups, support groups for men, and I kind of hate going on there because the men, I thought women traditionally are the whiners. Man, I tell you what, men can really whine if they want to. Okay, And I don't like whining. I really don't whine. Go and learn. Go and study. Go and find out what is happening to my wife. Speak with her. Connect with her. Because you can still connect with her, by the way. My wife and I connect very well with each other. Well, she's going through perimenopause, by the way. That's why I know about these things. Okay, so guys, I want to just close this message off quickly. All right, ladies, if you're going through this, all right, number one, understand it's not your fault. Know what's going on inside your body. And sadly, what happens is a woman will go through anxiety. So her husband says to her, sorry, there's a just message that came through here. Let me just mark it as read. Okay. Now, where was I? You see, brain fog. Okay. A woman will go through, say, anxiety. So she goes to the doctor and says, I've been feeling anxious lately. So the doctor gives her an antidepressant. That's the worst thing that you can do, because now that is messing up your hormones even further. All right. Then you get these headaches, and women get splitting headaches, they're migraine headaches. All right. So she goes to the doctor and says, Doctor, I've got headaches. So the doctor says, we'll take some Panados or whatever. Okay. There are about 36 different symptoms, guys, that make up, or rather, women experiences during perimenopause and even menopause. You can't go to the doctor for every single isolated symptom, because you're going to have a medicine chest. It's got thousands of medicine. And the reason for that, and again, it's not your fault. I blame the universities. Did you know that only in sorry, I'm just looking at the weather because I need to go do something quickly. Only in 2001, that's like 24 years ago, did they actually acknowledge, not even fully recognize it scientifically and say, guys, this is called perimenopause. All right. Somebody, I'm not sure if it was the World Health Organization or whoever, but they decided to acknowledge, hey, wait a minute, maybe we've got something here. Of course we've got something here. And the only reason I did that in 2001 is because there's a woman in England who went to a doctor with anxiety. The doctor didn't recognize what was going on, and she ended up committing suicide and taking her life. Now, there's another thing, and men, I don't want to scare you, and women, I don't want to encourage you, but there's another statistic that came out that during perimenopause, at the age between the age of 55 and 60, I think it is, women are more prone to depression, which leads to suicide or suicidal thoughts. Okay, so guys, okay, I need to close this message. All right, because there's a lot to talk about it. Maybe I can just talk about it later on in other videos. Okay, because now I see we're going on 18 minutes and I need to wrap it up. So, ladies, hopefully this has helped you. Men, if you're working with a woman who is tend to be a bit moody and and she gives a clue, she's doing this and she's always getting hot, and you're wondering, but the aircon's on, why is she getting hot? Then just know this. Maybe that lady's going through perimenopause. Depending on her age, if she's between 35 and say 45 maybe, okay, 45, 46, she's going through perimenopause. If she's older in her 50s, maybe she's going through menopause. Be patient with them. Just be patient. Just be patient. Just, don't go even over any lines or anything, but if you need to, make a cup of tea and go just put it on her desk, and, but don't do anything that your wife doesn't know about. That's what I'm talking about. Office politics. Don't get involved in office politics. But just know that lady is going through that. All right? And husbands, if your wives are going through that, don't add to the stress of the marriage by demanding sex. And I'm going to just say it straight. Don't be demanding. Don't be demanding. Just try and connect with her. And the best way to connect with her, guys, let me tell you now, is to go and study and go read up about it. Let me just tell you lastly, one of the things that I've done to help my wife is, and she even told me this one day, and I read it in somewhere, and then I saw a YouTube video about it. Then it made me aware of it. Okay, so awareness is very important. And the one woman was actually saying she got to the stage where she just couldn't care anymore. She got home from work. She couldn't care about making meals. She couldn't care about doing the dishes. All she wanted to do was go to the bed and plop on the bed and fall asleep. This is what I've done, all right? I help my wife. I do the dishes. All right? It sucks. I hate doing dishes. I absolutely hate it. I just just hate doing dishes. And I've helped with the meals. I'll say to her, hey, honey, I'm going to, don't worry. And I kick her out of the kitchen. I say, you're not allowed to cook tonight. And then I cook a meal. I don't cook very well, but she eats what I eat, and she always says, "Thank you, it was nice." And my wife's an honest lady, so it's nice that she says my meals are nice. Okay, and then I do the dishes. Okay, which sucks. So sometimes, guys, just jump in there and help out, because that'll make a difference for you to connect with your wife. Your wife will respect you for that instead of you becoming a whiner and demanding sex just because you got testosterone. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in another video. Maybe, I don't know. If you want me to make a video on that, just comment here below. Yeah, make a video. Ron, go on. Let's talk about this. Okay, we're now going over 20 minutes and 33 seconds. I'm going to bring this video to an end. Guys, you have a good Monday, and hopefully you've learned something from this. If you have, and you want to comment about it, and you want to post anonymously, I don't normally allow people to post anonymously on this group because I am the admin of the group. But if you want to post anonymously on this particular subject and what I've said, or ask a question anonymously, guys, go ahead. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about it, because it's tough not having a normal sex life, and it's tough for a woman going through what they go through. Okay, so there we go. Lord bless you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. This is Ron. Bye.